le occhi verdi come il mare.
Sono felice che tu sia qui. I'm so happy that you're here, guys. Welcome to Rosalie Reacts, the ultimate world music reaction channel. Today we are diving into another song you have been asking me for. That is Lara Fabian's rendition of Caruso. Now, it is a song in Italian, and I'm excited to check it out. It has millions and millions of views. It came out several years ago, and I'm going to be reacting to, I found a more digitally clear YouTube video, and I'm going to react to that. It is a song that was written by an Italian singer-songwriter way back in 1986, actually, by singer-songwriter Lucio Dalla, and it was dedicated to Enrico Caruso, an Italian tenor. And what I'm seeing so far about the song, it's going to be in Italian, so we'll dive into lyrics and meaning afterward. I just want to experience it on a musical and emotional level first. But what I'm seeing so far is that the song talks about a pain and longing of a man who is about to die. So that's very interesting. A man who is about to die, who is looking into the eyes of a girl who is very dear to him. Very interesting. There's a little snippet of an interview, it looks. A little snippet of an interview in the beginning here where Lara Fabian says something, and I think I might capture a second of that before we dive into her performance of Caruso. So welcome to my channel. As always, guys, like, share, subscribe, get plugged in. I want to be able to see your comments. I want to respond to you personally. You are not a copy, so I don't just want to copy paste my responses. And so it helps me when you get connected, when you reach out, when you get those super stickers and badges whenever I live or premiere. I want this to be a place where we can go on a ride of music, enjoying that virtual car ride, exploring music, the emotions, the psychology, philosophy behind it. I'm a singer-songwriter myself. As many of you know, I have a master's in counseling psychology, so I find great joy in exploring music on all these various levels. But I'm most glad that you are here because you guys make this channel so special. I'm excited to meet many of you virtually. I appreciate your support. Like, share, subscribe, get connected, and let's dive right in. This is Lara Fabian and her rendition of Caruso. I'm excited, I'm curious, and I'm excited. Let's go. You be in my arms, adagio. You'll be in my arms, adagio.
Qui dove il mare luccica e dove tira forte il vento, sulla vecchia terrazza, you just see Italy. It's all there. That's probably the most sensitive part of me because it relates to my mom and my grandma. Qui dove il mare luccica e dove tira forte il vento, su una vecchia terrazza davanti al golfo di Sorrento, un uomo abbraccia una ragazza dopo che aveva pianto, poi si schiarisce la voce e ricomincia il canto. Te voglio bene assai, ma tanto bene sai, è una catena ormai che scioglie il sangue dentro i veni, sai. Vedere luci in mezzo al mare, le sole notti là in America, erano solo le lampade, la bianca scia di un'elica. Senti il dolore nella musica, si alzò da pianoforte, ma quando vide la luna uscire dalla nuvola, gli sembrò più dolce anche la morte. Guardo negli occhi la ragazza, le occhi verdi come il mare, poi all'improvviso uscì una lacrima e lui credette di affogare. Te voglio bene assai, ma tanto bene sai, è una catena ormai che scioglie il sangue di te bene sai. La potenza della lirica, dove ogni derramma è un falso, che con un po' di trucco e con la mimica, sai, puoi anche diventare un altro. Così diventa tutto piccolo, anche le sole notti là in America. Ti volti e vedi la tua vita come la scia di un'elica. Te voglio bene assai, ma tanto bene sai, è una catena ormai che scioglie il sangue di te bene sai. Te voglio bene assai, ma tanto bene sai, è una catena ormai che scioglie il sangue di te bene sai, di te bene sai.
Wow. 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 Grazie. I'm speechless. One of you, interestingly, and I think correctly, pointed out, and this is not comparing as in who's better, who's worse, but one of you pointed out that Lara Fabian has more of this warm, rich sound, whereas Celine Dion has more of that nasally voice. Both are absolute powerhouses, and there are moments where I hear similarities, and I'm not sure how to say it because the person who commented this, they may be onto something, that Lara Fabian's sound is more warm and full. So it's hard for me to verbalize where I see those similarities. Sometimes maybe it's the strength with which some of those notes are hit. Sometimes it's just the sound. Nah, I can't do it. There's moments where I hear similarities, and I wonder if that is why, if I understood correctly, Celine Dion's team, the whole, marketing management behind her brand was trying to avoid Lara Fabian blowing up in the States, even though she got big with her song, I Will Love Again. With her song, I Will Love Again. We talked about that in the other video. Other than that, I don't think people are really familiar or were familiar with her work much. And now I think through reaction channels, there's more of that coming to light again. But she was huge in Europe and all these other places. I wonder if that's one of the reasons why there was pushback from the marketing, if this is what happened and if I understood correctly. Just because, when it comes to the music industry, if you have two people who may, even if they're not really the same and they have their own individual touch, and those who love and appreciate Lara can hear that, they know this, the general public, right, the radio, the general audience, they may see the similarities, and it may just, it becomes more competition, right? When you have a competitive market, you want to eliminate any possible threats and competition if it were to be similar to your brand, or if it could possibly reach the same market you're trying to reach, right? So if they were trying to reach a certain market and Lara Fabian was a threat to that, and I think she would have been easily, then I can see from the marketing standpoint, from the branding management standpoint, why they would have pushed back here and tried to get against that, because Lara Fabian is a force to be reckoned with. And again, I don't know the details about what really happened. This is based on comments you have shared, so don't quote me on it. But I see moments of similarity just in the sense of the strength, sometimes the sound on a superficial level, moments where I hear a certain similarity. But I agree with you in that it's unique. And again, I'm not comparing who's better, who's worse at all. They're both amazing vocalists. I agree with the person who commented saying the comparison is the killer of joy. I'm more comparing and contrasting in the sense of analysis. Lara Fabian has such an amazing sound to her, such warmth, such strength. She has an element of pop at times that I find very endearing, very fun. I usually don't really listen to opera much, and so hearing her and how the way she brings in the warmth to these ballads and really makes them her own. Sometimes a touch of pop, sometimes just very the ballad feeling that comes to it makes these songs really amazing. The strength with which she can high these notes, the way that she can hold these notes. I've said it before, I'll say it again for days and days. The emotion, the way she carries these songs emotionally. I also am really fond of the warmth in her voice, and that slight vibrato, and the what is the word I'm looking for? The richness, the warmth, the vibrato. There's another word, I can't think of it right now, but just amazing vocals. What I find interesting, because she said at the beginning of this performance that this is a very sensitive part of herself and she thinks of her mother and grandmother, that touched me and got my attention. Just seeing her and seeing her feel this music on such a deep level, and then wondering, about her mother and her grandmother, and imagining one of my daughters, singing with such power. What a beautiful thing when you can touch the lives of those before and after you. What a beautiful thing when you can sing with such emotion and you can remember and honor and dedicate something to the generations that have come before. Mothers and fathers out there will understand, but even if you're not a parent and you have tried to touch someone's life, be it through mentoring, be it through a friendship, it's a beautiful thing when you see a piece of yourself, of your legacy, reflected in the other person, and then the gifts and the beauty that they bring into this world. I mean, just imagine the pride of her mother and grandmother. Beautiful. The song Caruso, like I said earlier, was written by an Italian singer-songwriter, and it is a song that tells about the pain and longings of a man who's dying, looking into the eyes of a girl who was very dear to him. And I feel like, though I don't understand Italian, I could see just even how she was feeling and portraying the song with such emotion. She made it very personal to herself and to us as listeners. Lucio Dalla, the songwriter, he told the origin and the meaning of the song in an interview to Italian newspaper. He had stopped by the coastal town of Sorrento, and coincidentally in the very same room where many years earlier a tenor named Enrico Caruso had spent some time shortly before dying. And that was what inspired Dalla to write this song. After the owners of the hotel told them about the last few days of Caruso and the passions he had for one of his young female students. Guardo negli occhi la ragazza. The way she was singing, I mean, Italian is an absolutely beautiful language to me. I know that in the world, languages like Italian, French, Spanish, the Latin-based languages are often considered very romantic, which is funny because German is not, right? German is considered very harsh, intense language. I speak German fluently. I think German is awesome. I love Russian as well. I feel like Russian is a powerful language and the people that I have very much respect for. I love Arabic, different African languages like Mosa or Swahili. Like there's just awesome languages out there, and I love it so much because it's art to me. But it's funny because sometimes you hear these languages like, oh, je t'aime, te amo, grazie. It's like passionate languages of love. And then in German we go, ich liebe dich. And it sounds like we're cussing somebody out. And we're just trying to tell them we love them. So you know how there's these jokes and memes out there. But when you think of French, we think of the language of love, romance. We think of Spanish and Italian as passionate. I feel like Lara brought this really hardcore new respect and love for Italian to me when she was singing. The way that she was singing, I believe it's staccato, like the way that she was hitting some of those words and the rhythm within the melody, sometimes to the point that it was almost like talking, not just singing melodically. And that too was beautifully balanced. And I don't think that that's easy. Going from singing something to saying it back to singing it with such elegance and transition that it is all an integral part of a beautiful whole. Pardon me. It's not just, I talk with my hands a lot. That's the Cuban in me. It's not just singing and then cut, we're talking. Not like with rap, right? Where you have these distinct separations between speech and sang. Wow, Rosalie. Between singing and speech. There's these spoken words that transition into melodic singing, that transition gently back into melodic speaking. I mean, it's just beautiful. And the rhythm and that staccato and just very, very beautiful. The translation roughly goes, he looked into the eyes of the girl, those eyes as green as the sea. Ooh. But then a tear fell and he thought he was drowning. I love you very much, very, very much, It is a chain by now that melts the blood inside of our veins, So that makes sense why she would like touch her arms and the veins. I love that she feels these songs so much because I can relate to that. I feel things deeply. I feel like Luciano Pavarotti recorded the song in 1986. Interesting. Do you guys know this song? Have you heard of it? Do you have a favorite version of it? Do you think Luciano Pavarotti's is the best? Lara Fabian's? I mean, now we're comparing again. I'm sure they're all beautiful in their own way. Kind of like what I said about Adagio, where I was looking at Lara Fabian and Dimash's version. Check that out if you're interested. Also in my playlist, I have my Dear Dimash playlist, and I'm going to be having a special Lara Fabian playlist. But I feel like when we look at these, if we ever compare, it's not, again, I'll say it for the 15th time, to see who's better or worse, but to compare and contrast, like we do in literary art, right? We're analyzing, and in order to do so, we compare and contrast. Ultimately to celebrate the diversity and the beauty of each individually and together. But the song, the English translation here says things like, here where the sea glistens and the wind blows hard on an old terrace in front of the Sorrento Gulf, a man embraces a girl after having cried, and he clears his throat and restarts the song. I love you very much, but so much, it is a chain by now that dissolves the blood inside the veins, Saw the lights in the middle of the sea, thought of the nights there in America. I thought you were singing America, but they were only fishing lights in the white wash of a propeller. Felt the pain in the music, stood himself up from the pianoforte. But when he saw the moon came out of a cloud, even death seemed to him sweeter. Wow. Looked the girl in the eyes, those eyes green like the sea. And then suddenly a tear came out and he thought he was drowning. So beautiful and poetic and dramatic. Power of the opera, where every dream is a falsehood. Interesting. Yeah. With a bit of makeup and with mimicry. Something we find in opera, right? A lot of drama, mimicry, makeup, drama. But two eyes that are looking at you so close and true make you forget the lyrics, confuse the thought. So everything becomes small, even in the nights there in America. You turn and see your life as the wash of a propeller. But yes, it's a life that is ending, so he's dying. He didn't so much think about it. Rather, he was already feeling happy and restarted his song. I love you very much. So much, it's a chain by now that dissolves the blood inside my veins. Wow. Whew. Wow. A chain that dissolves blood. When you're chained by something, but it's dissolving blood. And the moon behind the veils of the clouds. And death seeming sweet. What agony, what beauty, what agony. Oh, wow. Absolutely beautiful song. What a masterpiece. What art, you guys. Art is so powerful and comes in so many forms, including you. When we look at the different paintings of all these masterminds of the world, and many we don't even know yet. Same with music, same with all these different ways of expression where people have put their heart and soul and their feelings and their individual personalities and experiences, fears and joys and hopes and dreams. And then you find this in music, and you have someone like Lara who can so beautifully convey it. What a masterpiece. And I think I will leave on that note today. We'll keep it simple today, if that's simple, I guess, for my case. I just want you to know that you too are a masterpiece, beautifully handcrafted and painted art and tapestry. And my mother used to tell me that that's something we can keep in mind. You know, tapestry, the things that are woven with different threads, they have all kinds of different colors. And on the bottom, it might look like chaos, all the threads intertwined, and we don't understand and don't see fully the picture. But when we look from the top, we can see the beautiful masterpiece and art as one whole, and it makes sense. And in the same way, sometimes in our life, things seem chaotic. We're looking from below, and it doesn't make sense. But God, the one who made us, He can see it from the top, and He sees the purpose, and He sees it has a full picture, and it makes sense, and it will make sense in the end, even with all the pain. You know, there's light and dark shades and threads. To make a picture beautiful, there's dark and light colors. One highlights and contrasts and complements the other. If it was all just blue or all just black or all just green, it would be boring. But when you have the blues and the greens and the rich purple and the black and the gray, and then you have the white and the gold and the light and the pinks and the orange, all these different colors together make a beautiful masterpiece. We need both the various shades and all the different colors together to make a beautiful work of art. And so you too are not just a one little drop in an ocean of so many. I want you to know truth. You are not just invisible, drowning in a sea, not seen, not heard. No, you are a masterpiece. You are part of a bigger thing, but you are loved, you are seen, you are beautifully made, you are special, you are a work of art. And I hope you can treat yourself and those around you today a little more like that you are a masterpiece. So rest in that, know that you are loved and you matter. I enjoyed this masterpiece. I enjoyed this ride, listening to this with you. I hope you enjoyed it too. Let me know what this song means to you and who you are and where you're from. Leave a comment below. I'm so happy you're here. As always, guys, like, share, subscribe, plug in, get connected, get those super stickers and badges. I really want to see you, pull you in, integrate you in this channel, and see who my core people are. But I'm so grateful for you. Shout out to all my ride or dies today. Today's shout out goes to Claude Emily Cloutier. I'm sorry if I didn't say your name quite right. And also to Camila Apo. And lastly, Eric Sickart for amazing, informative comments on these different videos that I do. Thank you so much for being part of this community and this channel. Guys, I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed this ride with me today. Leave a comment below. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. This was Rosalie Reacts. Until next time, ayo!